Hello and welcome to another vlog. Now today, if you're watching this on the day that it is posted, you will know that we've got 5 more sleeps left till Christmas. So today we're going to do some last minute things, and always last minute for me is the wrapping. Of course we don't have to worry about wrapping for the kids because Santa brings the kids presents. But if you've got some last minute wrapping to do and you've got some spare parcel paper, then I've got the project for you. And today we are going to be using this lovely Biggs Christmas tree die. Okay, so let's get cracking. So here's my Biggs die ready to go. Of course, we're talking about Biggs, so we're talking about really heavyweight materials. We've got some mount board here, and I'm going to cut some cork. This is adhesive backed cork, and this is going to form the surface of my stamp. It gives a lovely texture. So I'll place that over the small tree and the star. We'll sandwich that between our 2 plates, and I'm going to use my fold away machine. So I'll just clip down the wings into place and run it through. So there we have it. Super thick mount board, clean as a whistle. Now sometimes you'll notice, particularly with little dies like this is where our die pick comes in handy to extricate some of the smaller pieces. So that's one tree and star, and then next we'll take our cork, put it back in place and sandwich. Oh, a good tip, don't take the adhesive backing off before cutting. I did once and it was a divil to get off my cutting plates, but I'm sure you have more common sense than I do by far. So there's our cork tree and our cork star. Now, I cut one slightly earlier. I'll just move the machine out of the way for you. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the cork as well. Now, what we want to do is stick those together, and when we have, we'll end up with something like this. We want that depth for stamping because we're going to use these, as I said at the top, to stamp with. So I'll just take those out of the way, and I've got a couple of acrylic blocks. Now you only need a little bit of double-sided tape just to keep them in place. Stop them moving about. And this one with the star, I'll just put the double-sided tape directly onto the block like so. So star in place and our Christmas tree. There, all ready to go. Now I'm going to be stamping on parcel paper. And here it is. This is just a scrap piece to show you. Obviously, if it was for a larger present, I'd use a larger piece of paper. But I also need my craft mat and some gesso. Now, waste not, want not. You probably remember we had a spare piece of mount board. So I'm going to put some of that. Use the mount board to put some gesso on my craft mat. Then I'm going to take my brayer and roll this out. It doesn't have to be too thin, especially with the initial stamp, because we need to get a lot of the paint onto the stamp like so. So we're rolling that in. Once that's ready, after that we can then just dip the tree straight. Now that's what I'm after, that texture, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't want a perfect image. I'm embracing, as I often do, imperfection. Oh, there we are. Put it that way around. So we're just going back into, now when you think you need to flatten out the paint, just roll it out again and off we go. Eventually you'll need to add some more, obviously, as you go along, but you can be the judge of that. The good thing about this is it's clear acrylic block, so as with that last one that we did, if it isn't exactly as you want it, you merely place it down and stamp again. There, perfect. Couple more. Obviously I'm just doing, at this stage, I'm just doing this to show you how I want to get it. We could go on forever there, but we're not going to. Next up, now, I'm going to take some kitchen paper, place it over there, and just roll most of the paint off my brayer. Good thing about gesso, it does clean up fairly easily. Kitchen roll and baby wipes, always to hand. There. Now, with the star, I'm just going to roll out some yellow acrylic paint. This is Americana acrylics from DecoArt, and the colour is lemon yellow. Give it a good shake. Just a tiny blob this time. So again, we'll roll that out. Take our star. There, perfect. And we're just going to stamp above the top of the tree. It's a lovely, lovely effect, this. It's anything but perfect. There we are, one last star. Oh, actually we've got two that cross over here. Happy accident. And there, like so. Now, that's ready to go. Next, I want to bring in my Sharpie. Now, you don't have to be an artist to do this. Again, we're talking about imperfection. So I'm going to draw around the tree, but it's not going to be perfect. So I'm going to start off. Obviously, in an ideal world, we let these dry, but it's fairly dry as it is. So I'm going to draw up there and round like that. If you feel better about it, you can turn the paper around. Doesn't really matter. There, now, from here, you come up like that. See how I'm just flicking the pen out? Don't be too precise. I often find if people try too hard, then it looks contrived. It doesn't look realistic. That's not the effect we're going for. So there, we've just done 3 of the trees. One last detail, I want to add a rubber stamp. This is a Christmassy postmark, but we're just going to put it on the side of the tree, like so, all the way around. Same place on each tree, if you wish. And that, my friends, is that. Obviously, when it's finished, so there's our finished wrapping paper with stars and stamps in place. You note with this one I actually used some olive green paint and I die cut it using one of the labels dies. And that's my tag. Just punch a hole in the top, all ready to go. Now, if I use that olive green on white paper, then we will get something like this. So it's exactly the same process, but a different effect. So you can see we reversed here, and we've used the brown craft card tag. But because we're stamping, why not make some last minute cards? There's always that one that we forget. So here you'll notice that I've stamped with the olive green paint as I did before. And I'm going to take my Sharpie one more time and go around the edge of the tree like so. And again, like that. Now, next up, I want to take a rubber stamp. This is a postage stamp, if there were such a thing. I'm going to ink that up. We'll bring in my craft mat for this as well. So let's clean up the last of that yellow paint, because I don't want to get the ink on this lovely table. So I'll ink that up again. And this time I'm going to use a mask. I'm actually going to place a piece of card against the edge of the tree, like so. We'll bring the stamp in, and you'll notice that the stamp just goes up to the edge of the tree and no further. Now, we'll take, this is a pre-stamped sentiment. I'll get my double-sided tape, which is just down here to the side. Just add a little to the center. You'll notice that I've curled the edges of this. That's because I don't want it to lie flat, because we're using white on white. So when it stands out slightly like that, we let the play of light and shade suggest just a little dimension. There. Now, one last thing to go, and that is a snowflake. This is a pre-cut snowflake. It's from the Tim Holtz mini paper snowflake set. And I'm going to get my machine back in, because this time we're going to be using our big die, and we're going to place this snowflake, now that's the tree there, we're going to place it right on the edge. So it's going to cut partly into the snowflake, and you'll see the difference it makes when I actually attach this to the card. So let's take the machine out for a second. See how it's cut that little notch in the snowflake there? And I'll take my glue, a little here and a little there, and then I'll place it right on the edge of the tree, like so. So there's a suggestion there that the snowflake is actually behind the tree. How about that? Quick and easy last-minute Christmas card. So there we have it, all wrapped up. Now, I've got to wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you before, which I probably won't. And if you want any more inspiration, or if you want to find out a little bit more about the products which we've used today, then go to sizzix.co.uk. Bye!